let's move on to the ugly section. So, Thomas, I hit that earlier, but what is your ugly point?
Ah, man. How brutal maybe the open qualifiers were. Definitely. Watching the open qualifiers, people crashing, not having enough slots, like teams not being able to check in because there's too many teams. I don't know, like the entire tournament just seemed a bit of a shambles to me. And the amount of cheaters in comparison to Paris was crazy when you think about it, because a lot of teams were cheating.
By the way, that was the worst thing, no joke, was that even though you mean obviously in actual competitive level, like people in a qualifier cheating, because it just made all those plebs yeah, it's the same as all my matchmaking games. It's bloody cheaters. It's like, that's not what they're talking about. They weren't talking about a guy with the old fucking hack where that girder sticking out his body, through a wall, you idiot. Obviously, it's real Counter-Strike. It just looks dodgy, doesn't it? Yeah, of course. But there were definitely a lot of fucking mad sus ones from some of those clips, mate. I saw one of them, I won't name names, Thomas, because obviously, in theory, who knows, maybe the person's innocent. But I saw one of those ones where, if you can just see the radar, it looks like they just have a wall hack and they're just perfectly, flanking behind people in a way where it's all right, bro, you're Billy Big Balls, nobody 18790, and you've got the fucking game sense of Zimu. I don't think so, somehow, There was some of those I saw.
I know, I was watching Olaf's stream, man, and he was watching there was a bunch of Swedish guys playing, and there was a guy called Pike, and he was just full rushing T-Apps. He was playing Inferno in apps. So he's CT side. He's just full running every single round, second mid, not even caring. And then, obviously somebody told him, Olaf's watching only you. And so he had to chill out a bit, But
even better, okay. No, he's acting. Okay. Well, play cool, mate. Play cool.
Just chill out. Oh, he's never done this before. He's actually holding apps. Oh. But, yeah, I don't know. The qualifier could have definitely been sorted much better. I think the game is in a bad state, as in, so I saw a lot of people crashing.
Literally, in the middle of the round, it just crashes out.
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah, people will just crash.
Okay.
The game will crash. The anti-cheat maybe will lag out. I don't know. But I'm not gonna lie, it shouldn't be a thing in 2024. I understand if it was a thing, when CS2 was just out. The technology we have now in comparison to then,
so he says that we went from steam engines to fucking hovercrafts or something.
It feels like that though,
okay. Okay.
If you compare it to today,
sure.
The servers should be top quality.
Yeah.
I don't know, the whole game's just a bit of a mess, to be honest, in my opinion.
Okay. What do you think?
The crashing was really, really lame, because I do remember some of the rounds that some of the teams would win, which were so impactful, was just one guy disconnects. Well, the bomb sighting. I forgot what teams it was, but I remember there was this team that was on practically an eco round, and they were going B on Mirage, and then the B anchor for the other team disconnected, and it was well, now they just got a bomb plant and stole a round too. That just should have never happened, and it just kind of changed the whole outlook of the next 3 rounds, and just shit like that. And it was because it was the Acros anti-cheat was just giving, I don't know if it was giving false negatives or it wasn't connecting to people's thing, but that was the message that was in chat. It was Acros disconnected the person.
Yeah.
What is this anti-cheat doing? I'm pretty these were 2 legit teams. There's a chance, for some reason that person turned it off, but I would probably give them the benefit of the doubt, given I've seen these people play in tier 1 competition. So yeah, that anti-cheat it still is kind of wacky. And yeah, it's unfortunate that it feels like FACEIT right now has such a stranglehold on putting together a good qualifier tournament, because I imagine that PGL probably didn't want to enlist their services because it probably just had an exorbitant fee, whereas Challenger mode was probably a little bit more just financially viable for them. And PGL is all about just making things profitable for themselves. They see this as a business, and that makes sense. Obviously, you should. Yeah. And so you think about your bottom line. If you're going to have to pay 7 times the amount to use FACEIT services, and you think you can get by on Challenger mode, yeah, sure, you'll just weather the storm of the first few days of people complaining like crazy, and they're rightfully complaining. But if you get out on the other side and you have the highest viewed grand finals in CS history, it's not really much of a PR nightmare, is it?
But Acros was used for Paris.
Oh, okay.
So during the qualifiers, there's nowhere near as many problems, but it was
Right.
also on CS:GO, you know, like they've
Right,
stabilized
right.
servers. Like when you think about it, CS:GO was running very smooth by the end of it, and I think it was just what was happening. But I don't know. I think CS2 has a big thing to play with, because I think even on Face It, I do think if you were to run a tournament on it and you had a lot more players running on the servers, maybe it would like crash out a bit the same. But you just don't know, you know. Like CS2 is just so random now. With like, you can just crash randomly for no reason at all.
Okay. Right, I'll just say one brief thing, which is all I have to say is this, because people will have seen a certain fat-headed individual who, let's just say in a cartoon, only in a cartoon, I would say, injected a lot of synthol. So there you go. I'll put that one out. Only Maui gets that one, but it's straight fire, if you know. Basically, this individual made one of his like insightful remarks on the community. That was about this qualifier where he was like, why are we letting people get manually banned? So again, another person who's on his second day in Counter-Strike. Spoiler, every qualifier ever, you fucking idiot, if it's obvious the person is hacking, they get manually banned. You don't think they just go, well, he's hacking his tits off and it's obvious he's just wall hacking, but the anti-cheat didn't catch him, so I guess welcome to the major. Billy Big Ball 75. No, you fucking instantly manually banned them, and always have in all of history. And then finally, he's so stupid, he used the example of people like we wouldn't have like Rops and Ziwu. We do have Rops and Ziwu, and we already did those bans, you fucking cretin. Your actual points make an argument against what you were saying. And also, spoiler, those people should have been potentially accused by the eye test of cheating. Do you know why? They're some of the most cracked out players in the history of Counter-Strike, you moron. One of them, Ziwu, literally, you idiot. Of course he looks like he's cheating. He is better than everyone else. Like, some people can't win, mate. Like, the problem in the modern day is this, is essentially, and I'm one to say it, but I'm going to fucking say it, just because you can send tweet doesn't mean you always should send tweet. And again, I say that from hard fought and lost experience, Maui. So we go. I think I made a good point there. I think I made quite a succinct point about how bad the cheating problem can be and how we have to solve it. To see more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content, well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.